I hear this all the time. I left the narcissist. I cut off all contact. I've been in therapy for months. I understand trauma bonding, gaslighting, projection. And yet late at night, when you're in bed, the world is quiet, they're still in your head. You replay conversations, imagine how you could have responded differently, and you rewrite the arguments in your mind. The endless rehearsals never end. And here's the painful truth. If your peace depends on them changing or on them finally apologizing, then your peace still depends on them. And that is not true peace, and that is why it still hurts. Because what haunts you is not them. It's the memory replaying in you. And no amount of blocking numbers, labeling personalities, or explanation touches that. And sometimes the hardest part is realizing that what we resent so much out there in another person may also live quietly in us. And that can feel uncomfortable, even confronting. But remember, the mirror only shows the memory, and the memory is not who you are. That truth is freedom. Most mainstream advice tells you, set boundaries, cut off contact, label the narcissist as toxic, walk away. And yes, on the physical level, this is necessary for safety. If someone is abusive, you don't keep yourself in harm's way. That is not helpful. But here's the underlying problem. You can delete the number, you can block them on social media, you can move to another city, but they still live rent-free in your mind. Why? Because escaping the person doesn't erase the memory. So think of the Groundhog Day. Bill Murray wakes up to the same day again and again, no matter what he changes on the surface. He tries every strategy, chasing pleasure and manipulating outcomes, but nothing shifts until he changes within. And that's how memory works. You can change the circumstances, you can swap out the people, but if the memory of guilt is still running inside you, painful situations will keep playing out. Or take The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, another great movie. Two lovers try to erase each other from memory, but find that even without conscious recall, the same patterns resurface. Because the memory isn't just about an event. It's an imprint in the mind. And this is why outer solutions don't last. The pain within makes us unconsciously repeat the pattern, trying to solve it outside. But it cannot be solved outwardly in form. All problems, and I mean all problems, exist first at the level of the mind, and only then do they manifest in the physical reality. This is the teaching of Ho'oponopono. There is no out there. There is only within. The problem exists as an error in your perception, and only there can it be erased. So therapy can feel like a revelation. You finally hear words like trauma bonding, codependency, or narcissistic supply. You see the patterns named out loud, and something in you breathes. Yes, that's it. The naming itself can feel like relief. But here's the trap. Explanation engages the memory, but it doesn't release it. It's like pressing on a bruise over and over again. You feel the pain more vividly, but the splinter is still inside. You can rehearse the arguments 1,000 times. You analyze every word, label every behavior, but the thorn remains until it is removed. And that's how explanation works. It circles the pain, it intensifies it, but it never releases it. I know this personally. Therapy gave me compassion and language, but I still replayed the same conversations. I still carried the ache. I carried the memory of fear like a badge without realizing it. And it became a blind spot. I remember walking away from a breakup, telling myself I understood everything about what happened. But every night I still lay awake rehearsing what I should have said. I thought understanding was healing, but I was just circling the bruise. So how do you cure a blind spot? Not by staring harder, but by bringing light to it. That light is awareness. and the light is seeing it differently, relating to the memory differently. And that shift in relationship is what transforms and heals. Awareness is the superpower that changes how we hold the memory. Understanding didn't clean the memory, because clean means you see it for what it is, not you, only an illusion. Clean means it no longer defines me. Cleaning means you bring it into the light of awareness. And I've seen it in others too. A client once came to me after months of therapy, able to explain every detail of her unspeakable trauma. She knew the language, she could map up the patterns, but she still felt powerless. She said, I can explain my pain perfectly, but I cannot stop reliving it. That was the moment she realized that explanation doesn't clean. In that moment with my client, we began cleaning together, not to fix the narcissist or even herself, but to release the identity tied to the memory. And for the first time, she felt a little bit more space, a breath of peace. And that's the difference between explanation and cleaning. One circles the wound, the other dissolves it. So awareness, not explanation, is what dissolves the pattern. Awareness is the only true way to respond, because awareness, the self, dissolves the pattern at its root. Explanation engages it, grabs it, but awareness erases it. So Dr. Hewlett put it simply, when you try to figure out or grasp the memory or explain it, you only feed it. But when you clean, you let go, you give consent to the divinity to void it. What we accept has reality for us. And that acceptance of identity is usually unconscious. Because if we were truly conscious, we would never do this to ourselves. Escape keeps you safe. Psychology helps you to understand. But neither frees you. They operate at the surface. They deal with the behavior and the story, and not with the root memory that fuels both. And because they stop short, they strengthen the identity of victim and perpetrator. You feel safer, maybe smarter, but you're not free. And this is why the endless rehearsals, the mental gymnastics continue. You replay conversations in your mind, what you should have said, what you wish they had said, how the argument could have gone differently. But these rehearsals only keep the role play alive. They bind you to a stage that no longer exists except in memory. It's like rearranging the furniture in a dream and hoping the nightmare will end. So Ho'oponopono says, the narcissist, the person, is not the real problem. The memory of narcissism, of I'm not good enough, they did this to me, of blame, of guilt, replaying in you is the error, is the problem. And that is what hurts. That's why you date the same person, only they look different. So memory seeks out memory to reinforce itself. It becomes the play, the drama, like the layers of dreaming in the movie Inception, where you no longer know the difference between reality and dreaming. And so the same faces return wearing different names until the memory is clean. True forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior. It's not condoning or condemnation. It's non-judgment. It's to release your grasp. It's letting go. It's not just about saying it's okay, minimizing it. It's about cleaning the unconscious program that projects the role of victim and perpetrator in the first place. You do not need to forgive the truth. The truth doesn't need forgiveness. You forgive the illusion. And when you clean, you're not fixing them. You're not even fixing yourself. You're allowing divinity to erase the program. And when the program is gone, freedom is automatic. It's revealed. So think about it. Setting boundaries depends on the other person respecting them, yes? Therapy depends on your willingness to revisit pain. And both have their place. I'm not trashing therapy. But Ho'oponopono, it doesn't depend on anyone else. It's between you and the divine. So when you say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, you're not fixing them, you're not fixing yourself. You're giving consent for divinity to erase the program, the data, and nothing external can block that. And that's why Ho'oponopono is fail-proof, because the self is fail-proof. Ho'oponopono doesn't try to fix the story. It dissolves the story. So true cleaning, true forgiveness is not, you hurt me, but I'll be the bigger person. That memory still keeps the wound alive. True forgiveness says, I will not hold you to the era my mind is playing. I release both of us from that illusion. It is seeing beyond right and wrong, beyond roles, beyond masks, beyond history, into the innocence that memory cannot touch. And here's something else. It takes courage and willingness to truly forgive. We often minimize our pain without actually letting it go. We downplay it, rationalize it, explain it, grab it, pretend it doesn't matter. But all of it is a defense mechanism, a way we cope. But minimizing is not the same as releasing. True cleaning, forgiveness, asks for the bravery to face what hurts and the willingness to hand it over to divinity instead of carrying it. So yes, therapy, boundaries are helpful. They are steps, but they are not the destination, because until the memory is clean, the loop continues. Ho'oponopono doesn't just help you to cope. It erases the need for the story itself. And when the memory is gone, you no longer need to forgive the narcissist. There is nothing left to forgive because it was an illusion. You don't heal by escaping people. You heal by cleaning the pattern, the memory that creates them in your reality. And that is why Ho'oponopono is not just another tool. It's a doorway to freedom. Because here's the thing. As long as you're still rehearsing those old conversations in your mind, your peace is still dependent on the other person. And peace that depends on anyone else is not peace. It's fear. Cleaning ends the rehearsal and the mental gymnastics. It gives you a peace that no one can take away because it no longer depends on them. And that is true freedom. So next time you catch yourself rehearsing an old conversation, pause again. Notice the scene in your mind, the words, the faces, the emotions. And instead of rewriting the script yet again, gently place your hand on your heart and say the 4 phrases. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Say them not to the other person, but to the memory itself, to the child within you who still feels stuck. The phrases gives consent and then hands it over to divinity. You don't need to figure it out. You don't need to win the argument in your head. Just clean and watch how the grip of memory starts to loosen, leaving you freer each time. So think of it this way. Ho'oponopono is not problem solving. It's problem dissolving. The memory feels solid, like a heavy packbag that you cannot put down. But when the light of the truth shines, the backpack simply dissolves because it was never really a part of you. The truth of who you are, your authentic self, cannot be disturbed by people, thoughts, emotions, circumstances. The mind has a habit of running away from discomfort, of rehearsing stories to feel safe. But peace does not come from running, but from dissolving the illusion at its root. And this is what cleaning restores: clarity, light, and the unshakable peace of your true nature. So if you want to anchor this in your heart, repeat softly to yourself, the memory is not me. I am the light beneath it all. I release the memory, the story, and I choose peace. I return to love. Say it when the thoughts come, the rehearsals start, when the old identity comes back again, when fear disguises itself as truth, and let it remind you you're already free. That's awakening. The awareness that you're dreaming. The memory is not you. It is only a dream seeking to repeat itself, and cleaning is how you wake up from the dream and return to what is real. I love you guys.